Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR MyCareer mode here on the channel as we continue this 2003 season and today take on the second crown jewel of the season. Actually, no, I guess technically with our timeline we already did the Southern 500, so this is the third crown jewel already on the season with the Coke 600 fresh off of Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting to victory lane last episode now. And for us, we got through last race without too much chaos. We've been running into a lot of people lately. NASCAR, actually, if I had wrecked anybody, just outright wrecked anybody in Richmond, they were preparing to put me on probation. Now, I am still on a very short leash, so that's something to keep in mind throughout a race that's going to be very long and presents many opportunities for us to maybe get ourselves into a bit of trouble. You guys know the deal. Coke 600, it's a long event. Sit down, grab a snack, get a drink, get ready to settle in here for about half an hour with myself. Now it's going to be an interesting race because we, I think, are going to struggle with this number 21 Ford Taurus here for this Wood Brothers Racing team this weekend. I don't think it's going to be easy, and we're just going to have to grind it out and, in reality, just kind of hope for the best basically now, and I'm hopeful that we will have still a strong effort. And here in practice right off the bat, having mediocre speed, and that was immediately kind of my concern going into qualifying, was just I was kind of mediocre here in practice, a few tenths of a second off of where I needed to be. My fastest laps actually were the last 3 compared to the first 2, but as we get ready to qualify, then we'll wait and see how she goes now as we get ready to head on to the racetrack now. And 140 lap race this is, so it's going to be really just one of those long, grueling ones. Patience, I'm sure some strategy is going to play a factor in how things go as well as we roll through 1 and 2 here right on that blue line, as we have a goal time of a 30.002 as we head down this back straightaway towards turn 3, and actually was pretty content with how I got through 1 and 2. And as we head down into turn 3 and as well exit turn 4, again, pretty happy with the pair of corners that I was able to put together. But will this translate into a quick time? Well, the answer is absolutely not. We are P37 here for the Coke 600. That is, outside of a super speedway, our worst by far qualifying effort as a Cup Series rookie here in 2003. You see the rest of your results here in qualifying. You got Jeremy Mayfield rounding out the top 15. Dale Jr. last episode winner there in the bottom of the top 10. And how about Jamie McMurray up there in P3? But Ryan Newman on pole position with Kevin Harvick on the front row. Point leader, Jimmy Johnson in P4 as we would get ready to go racing. However, Jimmy Johnson, well, he moves up to P3 because look at Kevin Harvick, failed optical scanning station. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin Harvick went from the back to the front in Iowa to win, so could he repeat that in what's been a very impressive third season in full-time action for the number 29 Good Wrench team with Kevin Harvick behind the wheel now? So it'll be Ryan Newman and Rookie of the Year contender Jamie McMurray leading the field to green as we start all the way in the back couple of rows. Here we go, ready to go racing for the 2003 Coca-Cola 600. Green flag is out, and we're underway from P36 there as you see Burton and as well Bill Elliott there in row number 3. Jeff Burton's been on a bit of a tear lately now, a couple of wins, a second place result just recently there against Dale Earnhardt Jr. You have to wonder if Jeff Burton's really about to light things on fire here and have an opportunity to get himself up in that championship conversation, although be it early in the season, as we've got the 45 of Kyle Petty just behind us as we head down into turn number 3 now, and Ryan Newman is out to an early lead here in this race. Watch out for Newman. We know he's going to be fast. It's not been a great season for the number 12. Jimmy Johnson, of course, 1 win on the season, leading these standings, and he's not got that comfortable lead, though. He's got Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth hot on his tails. Now, of course, in this era, we know we don't have stages, so in what would be a 4-stage race in current day NASCAR, well, we've got, just one stage. It's one race, so 140 laps of racing. We are going to see several pit stops here tonight under the lights, and we've got opportunities to work on our car, but the one problem was actually felt like the car was driving really good right off the bat. So my concern was, well, heck, I genuinely don't know what adjustments I would make. Usually you have a pretty good indicator pretty quick into a run where you want to go with your car. I had no clue what I wanted to do. The car was driving fine. The problem is the speed. Now, I am confident that we are going to be able to work our way forward. It's just going to require patience. And honestly, I think a top 20, top 25 at the bare minimum is still doable. But I mean, we are definitely off of where we have been in some recent races. So it's going to require a bit extra effort, maybe a little bit out of the box thinking in terms of strategy. There's going to be some different kind of ways to go about this race for us if we're going to better our finishing result. But I mean, you can see it took us about 7 laps, but we're starting to make some headway now, and we're passing the number 0 there of Jack Sprague, and I mean, we're very quickly going to be running down Ken Schrader. You got as well the 43 of John Andretti. So you see, as these laps are going on, the pace is starting to kind of shift a little bit here into favor of myself. So that was making me feel a little bit better now, and honestly, I was kind of thankful we don't have like stage racing in 2003, so I'm not like giving up heaps and heaps of points here tonight. But as we move up into 37th, wasn't long until I'm on the outside of that 43, and we're going to be passing John Andretti as well. So we're starting to make some good strides forward, and who knows how long it's going to be until that first caution. Will we see a green flag pit stop cycle to open this race now as we're going to pass that 43. Jeremy Nadeau next up. He just signed a contract extension for next season in that 01 Pontiac. He will be behind the wheel of that 01 in 2004. And obviously, he's not the biggest fan of me. We've wrecked him twice in the last few races. It's not been great. We did get caught up in an accident last race in Richmond, but NASCAR didn't really think that it was like egregious. It was just kind of restart chaos with Ryan Newman, actually, that led to that incident that we got ourselves involved in. So like I said, though, we're on a bit of a short leash, so we do have to be smart and try to not just, take out anybody here this weekend as we continue up to the back of, now you got Dave Blaney there in that number 77 as Ryan Newman continues to lead. He is already within, like 12, 13 seconds of me. So, I mean, if we stay green for a while, we are going to be going a lap down. But pit stops, green flag pit stops are kicking off here on lap 18 coming to 19. You can go 20 to 22 laps on field here on a full tank. Now you can see some guys are electing to come in a little bit early, and I'm also planning to come in pretty soon as well. My fuel light comes on right now. Jamie McMurray's actually out in front, but we're going to probably pit right here at the end of lap 20. I could stretch it to the end of 21 if I wanted to, but I was just kind of waiting to see how things are going to go with other drivers pitting, and pretty well everybody comes in at the end of lap 20, so I decided, okay, let's come in now on the way to lap 21. So I didn't make any adjustments. I was happy with the way the car was driving. I said I just don't see a need to change this car. So it'll be 4 Goodyear tires, and we'll of course get this thing filled up on field just over 15 seconds stationary in our pit box, and we'll come out behind that number 38 of Elliott Sadler. Now Ryan Newman is going to be back out in front, and we are about to go a lap down, so we are going to need a yellow, and hold on, there goes the 0 of Jack Sprague around into turn number 1. Big contact with Andretti, and up and over the top of the leader, and oh my goodness, terrible crash for Jack Sprague on his lid, and you have to hope he's okay after that one. It's going to be race over for Jack Sprague, and we'll have to wait and see going into next race how that's going to turn out. That was violent. And fortunately, the pit cycle had all completed, so no one really gets trapped a lap down. But unfortunately, we're still back here in 34th, getting ready to go green for this restart now, as Ryan Newman is even going to be able to take off on this restart now, because some of the times the AI, when they do have those crashes, they can be a bit slow, but it looks like Newman's okay. He's still leading on the run into turn number 1, but I mean, wrong place, wrong time for Ryan Newman. It looks like somebody had a bad restart up there, and honestly, it looks like Matt Kenseth. But as we go back green, nonetheless, out of turn 2 down this back straightaway, very unexpected, wild, violent crash there for Jack Sprague, another Rookie of the Year candidate as we head down into turn 3. So not the crash we wanted to see, and his night is over, as you could imagine. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he's all good there. As now for us, I mean, yeah, I'm confident. I know we're running 37 still after 25 complete laps, but I'm not too concerned yet. I still think we've got a very, very good chance to get a strong, respectable result out of this Coke 600. And honestly, I'm kind of thankful right now that this race is as long as it is. It gives us more opportunity to just kind of put ourselves in a better position and have more time to just kind of let things kind of come to us and play out hopefully in our favor. We are just kind of hoping that there's not a run tonight that's long enough for us to go a lap down to whoever might be leading at that point in time. So as we continue behind Ken Schrader now. He was actually going forward. I dropped to 39th place. I'm the last running car on the racetrack. And as we look to the inside now with the 45 of Kyle Petty, it's like, okay, let's start rolling forward a little bit here. And as we approach lap 30 at this point already, the time's kind of flying by. This race, it feels long, but I mean, it's already almost lap 30. We're getting through this thing pretty quick, and we kind of got a bit of a stack up of cars right here. You got 2 by 2 by 2, 4 rows deep, and I was starting to make some headway finally here on the exit of turn 4. Ken Schrader, he's going 3 wide around the outside. I said, don't mind if I join the party. I'm going 4 wide. We're going 4 wide for 35th right now. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. As Ryan Newman continues to lead, he has led the first 30 laps of this race, looking very strong in this Coke 600 now. But of course, a lot extra laps in this race compared to most. So Newman's going to have to stay strong for a little bit longer than you usually do. So that's going to be a challenge for that number 12 team. And it's going to be interesting to see how that works out as we're right on the back of the 77 there. Dave Blaney just about actually got into his back bumper. That would have knocked him sideways. But as we approach now the inside of him here into turn number 3, we will be able to clear this 77, another spot gain. So into the top 32, and we had a good chunk of ground to make up to the next few cars in front of us. And I can happily report, as you can see, we were closing in on these guys. So as these laps go on, every run, it seems like we're gaining more and more speed. And next up is Dale Jarrett. Then you've got, of course, your California winner just in front of him. That's Jeff Green. We haven't heard any more comments yet this weekend about Jeff Green and RCR, but we do have some issues. In front of us, that's Tony Raines. Tony Raines in the number 74. Engine down, no caution. We stay green. We make a pass on Jarrett and to the inside of the 22 of Ward Burton. He's going to be able to stay in front of us, but a very, very exciting moment right there that could have turned into, but fortunately we all avoid chaos. And hold on, we got pit stops kicking off as well. Who's that? Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle's coming into the pits in the number 16, and 5 laps of fuel, so it's not too early, but it is slightly early. Another lap later, Ryan Newman actually pits from the lead and others, so we're going to get ready to, hold on, we got problems. Turn 1 crash. I can tell from here that's Kurt Busch into the outside wall, and as well collecting Todd Bodine. Caution is out, and big names Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson had already pitted and are trapped a lap down. Gordon will get the free pass. Johnson, Biffle, and Raines, who blew that engine, are all trapped 1 lap down. You see Kurt Busch simply blew a tire into turn 1, collects Bodine. Johnson exiting the pits, had to slow down on the apron there to avoid that one. So as you see the lead, as we get ready to go back green, Ryan Newman's got some work to do now, because through that whole sequence we had, of course, some drivers coming into the pits, some drivers that were still on the track, including myself. So now we have moved up into 28th position through this mess, but Ryan Newman has given up the lead of this Coke 600. He's going to have some work to do here, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front at this point as we exit turn 2. What can Dale Jr. do as he's trying to go back to back? What a story it would be if he goes winning Richmond and then comes here into Charlotte, picks up another win right off the bat now, and what could be turning into a favorable season for the young driver now, of course, son of Dale Earnhardt Sr. and carrying that Earnhardt name and legacy on. And Dale Jr. is in quest of his first Winston Cup Series championship now, as well, unfortunately for me, Jimmy Johnson's going to blow my doors off, but not for position. He's fighting for the free pass. Now this is for position. Here comes that DuPont Monte Carlo of Jeff Gordon up my inside. Jeff Gordon, the luck's not been on his side, but he finally rebounded in Richmond and got a respectable result up there in the top 10. As we got more problems, we got huge problems. I'm backing it down. Big crash in turn 4. Johnson, several cars as we go through the middle. Caution is out. Another one strikes, and that was a Charlotte-style big one. And you saw it was Kenny Wallace going around, and it's just cars everywhere. It's chaos, and we managed to slip through all of that, and we would stay out and get ready to go back green after that one. My goodness, Jimmy Johnson, even though he got collected in that crash, he does get the free pass. So both Hendrick drivers that were a lap down are back on the lead lap. Jeff Gordon, we were just talking about him as that all kind of kicked off, and JG is finally rebounded in Richmond, and then kind of has a little bit of bad luck here again tonight in Charlotte, but fortunately as quick as his bad luck came, he got the good luck as well, being the free pass. So he's back on the lead lap, and he's got nearly 100 laps still to recover from this kind of mishap. And same for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. If you've got 90 or so laps and you still couldn't recover, that's a you problem at that point. Now Tony Stewart has gotten the lead on this race over Dale Earnhardt Jr. Stewart, your defending champion from 2002, has yet to find victory lane here this season, but don't be surprised if he is able to get back there soon. Now, you would expect, I mean, honestly, even tonight, this is a Tony Stewart type of race now. Long race, grueling, patience, he can make it happen, as Greg Biffle now is going to go to my inside and make a pass on us into turn 1, not for position. He's now racing for the free pass. Of course, he was one of the first drivers to come into the pits when that whole caution situation came out, so obviously he was kind of like the prime subject that got screwed out of that one. Now is Tony Raines as well. Tony Raines, that 74 has got a lot of speed here tonight. He blew an engine earlier, well, had an engine issue, and they have fixed it, and he's running pretty competitive, so he's trying to fight for the free pass as well as I am, unfortunately, busy fighting with the wall, and I caught the wall pretty good there on the exit of turn 2, and now Jimmy Johnson's going to pass us for 28th now, or 29th. We dropped down to 30th with still 82 laps to go. It's not been a pretty race, but we're just going to keep slugging this thing out and hoping that things work out. We've got a new leader as well, Jeremy Mayfield, to the lead in the number 19 for Evernham. How about that? As Mayfield had a really good start to the season, and a guy that had a really good start to the season winning Daytona is into the wall. That's Ricky Craven with a tire down. Cautions out Biffle with the free pass, and everybody's going to come in for tires and fuel. We have got an interesting situation here. We just gained 3 spots. Some drivers gained 5 spots in the pit lane, so not sure exactly what that's about, but if I had to guess, actually, I think Jimmy Johnson's one of the drivers that just lost a bunch of spots in the pit lane. I'm not sure why we just saw multiple drivers lose a bunch of positions, but I mean, I'm happy about it because now we're up to P26 at this point, as Tony Stewart's back out in front with Dale Jr. and Mayfield up there joining him as we go down this back straightaway one more time. And I mean, we're not even halfway through this race yet. We're just about there, you know, only 6 laps, coming up on 5 laps away from the halfway point here in this Charlotte Coca-Cola 600 now, and it has been a very, very wild race so far. Now, a lot of crashes now, and as we approach halfway, new leader Ryan Newman. Actually, he's got that number 12 back out in front here from Charlotte now, and here comes Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Johnson up my inside. So what we're learning, as we've now had a few runs on these tires and whatnot, and restarts, is I'm actually going to catch you outside wall again. The car just a little bit too tight there. But what I've been learning is the fact that the car just fires off slow, and then it starts to really take off after about 7 or 8 laps, and that's when I'm really kind of able to utilize just the advantage that we've got currently in this 21. So now lap 71 officially halfway through here in Charlotte now, and we are running down again Kenny Wallace, who brought out the big one caution earlier, and we are going to be able to pass him here eventually. Now, he would actually put up a decent fight now, and we wouldn't pass him completely until a full lap later when he was just kind of planting himself on my outside, but we would clear him into turn 3. So now up into P29 as we would close in next on Ward Burton. Newman continuing to lead, so it seems like if you give Ryan Newman the lead, he is going to be really, really hard to pass. So I think that's, you know, really good sign for that 12 team. But we've seen already tonight in the first half of this race, one poorly timed caution can and will change anything. We have seen that this season. Another thing that we've seen this season multiple times, I mean, overtime. This has been a completely revamped era for NASCAR here in 2003 with overtimes and double file restarts, stuff like that, and overtimes have played a huge role, and on top of that, the double file restarts in overtimes have played a big role in changing the outcomes of some of these races now. So I mean, if you are dominating this race and next thing you know the race is forced into overtime, we have seen the guy that was in control going into OT lose the race multiple times this season. We think about Bill Elliott in Iowa, for example, and that 19, they've kind of been quiet lately. They had a few races in the first kind of 7 or so weeks where they were really strong and fighting for wins, and then the last few races they've just really quieted down. I'm not sure what's quite going on there. Of course, one of our members is a crew chief, MJ Seals. We talked about that in Richmond. Definitely looking for them to get things turned around as the caution's out again. Didn't quite make out who that was, and it was actually the 22 of Ward Burton blowing a tire into the outside wall that was just behind us, so we probably would have seen it in our mirror. Everyone pits for tires and fuel again, and we once again get ready to go for another restart, actually lined up alongside the Penske number 2 of Rusty Wallace. Here we go once again, P26 as the green flag comes out. Once you get to lap 100, it's like those final 40 laps are underway. It's like, okay, it's crunch time, and there's not much racing left to go. We got a new leader. Tony Stewart went to the lead in the pits. Now Ryan Newman dropped to P2. Dale Jr. is actually going to take P2, I think, from the 12 of Newman. At least it looks like from here. Could be Jeremy Mayfield actually up there in P2. Hard to tell, but nonetheless, we're side by side down this back straightaway here with Dave Blaney in the number 77. The intensity is going to pick up here. I mean, from every restart from this point on now, as it is Dale Jr. that was into P2, because he's just now taking the lead from Tony Stewart now as we cross the stripe. So 56 laps to go here from Charlotte. We know there's going to be another pit stop, another at least 2 pit stops before this race comes to a close. I believe it's going to be a 3-stop race if I think about it. Yeah, it should be a 3-stop race still, as we are now once again kind of in these early laps losing track position. Dale Jr. has gotten back to the lead, has given up the lead to Tony Stewart, and it seems like Ryan Newman, we talked about it, he gets the lead, it's hard to pass him, but when he loses the lead, it seems it's quite challenging for him to get back to the lead, and this is what I didn't expect. Jeff Gordon, the 24, actually has gotten himself out front here by the time we came to lap 87. How about it? Jeff Gordon trying to get his second win of the season now, as we are in an absolute scrap again for about 30th place. Now you got the 1 of Steve Park, you got the 54 of Todd Bodine. In front of us you got Wallace, as well as Nadu again clipping the apron right there. Is going to wash me up the track into the side of the 23. A bit of contact, but no spin out of that one, so we're all good. And we would have a brief battle here with Kenny Wallace. This is just not the race I've been wanting to have, but I'm not going to give up hope. I mean, we know, like we said, one poorly timed caution could be, a very positively timed caution for us now, as we unfortunately make a mistake there, though, catching the outside wall. That's going to allow the 1 of Steve Park to get past me on this run down into turn number 1. So back into 30th we would go, and actually shortly thereafter the 22 of Ward Burton going to be passing me as well. So this run, for whatever reason specifically, it just seemed like the car wasn't quite taking off to the same extent that it has most of this race, but we started again to move our way back forward nonetheless here on lap 92, and Jeff Gordon's continuing to lead. So I thought it might have been a fluke that the 24 had gotten to the lead, because it didn't seem like Jeff Gordon had a car quite capable of leading, and usually if they do, they take the lead pretty early, but Jeff Gordon's waited until these last 50 or so laps, and now caution's out again here in Charlotte. And actually this time I couldn't quite find what exactly happened. I just saw smoke right there out of somebody. It might have been Bodine. So we all again would pit for tires and fuel and get ready for a restart. So we line up behind the 88 of Dale Jarrett. We are directly in 30th position. Now Dave Blaney, you saw it on the leaderboard. I forget who the other one was, but Dave Blaney and somebody else stayed on the racetrack, so we're going to have a little bit slower traffic in front of the field. So Jeff Gordon, I mean, it was going to be a short-lived maybe advantage there, because he's going to be caught up in traffic, but he might be able to get himself through these guys and actually move himself forward. But as we head down this back straightaway towards turn number 3, we'll wait and see. Now Dave Blaney is still leading this thing now, and actually I can tell from here he's got Jeff Gordon right on his back bumper, but Dave Blaney is not making things easy at all. But Jeff Gordon should get him right here as they come through to the start-finish line. Sure enough, Jeff Gordon back into the lead here in this Coca-Cola 600. 43 laps to go, and we really got to start trying to make some moves here and get our ways up front. And honestly, Dave Blaney and whoever else joined him on staying out, this is going to be the opportunity for us to gain hopefully a little bit more additional track position. Here we go. We're going to go for a 3-wide move up the inside of Casey Mears and Wallace into turn 3 into P27, and we would briefly get checked up and actually drop back to 29th until we were making these moves into turn 1, and now we're right back here into 27th again behind Jeff Green. Now is a bit of a stack up in front of us on this inside line, so I'm going to jump up to the middle lane here, 3 wide in the middle. Looks like Nadu must have been the other one that stayed out, because he is very slow as we head down into turn number 3, leaning on the side of the 74 of Tony Raines. We're going to wreck the 74. Caution's going to fly again here in a wild 600. That might have got me probation. That was obviously not intentional. I just got really tight and I hit the door of him and turned him sideways. I'm going to pit for fuel and tires. I mean, we got nothing to lose. We're back here in 32nd. We need to do something different, but I think I'm going to be on probation going into next episode. So, yeah, not at all what I was trying to do. And big apologies there to the 74 of Tony Raines.
All right, you're coming to the green.
We'll get ready to go back green. nonetheless. But obviously, I mean, just not the race that we've been wanting. And with less than 40 to go, this could go one or two ways at this point. Option one is just get it over with, finish this thing out, and just say, thank God it's done. Or we can go to option two, where we keep slugging this thing around and try to do something different, try to find a way to get ourselves a better finishing position. I prefer option two. I hope you guys do as well, because that's the option we're going to go for. Jeff Gordon still out in front here from Charlotte, but now he's got those fast cars up there with him. All the guys that stayed out there on that last yellow have now also come in, so we were the only exception of drivers that pitted on the caution before. We would pit again, but I mean, I felt like we kind of had to right there. So we did pick up a little bit of damage in that accident as well with the 74. Nothing extreme. It was just only like a second of repairs, but I mean, we were already outside of the top 30, so I said, why not? But now we're really going to focus on, just trying to make something out of this race. I genuinely believe we're a top 25 car. Just time and time again, we've kind of gotten ourselves in a position where we probably shouldn't be, and it has gone directly against me, unfortunately. Now is to lap 107, and here we go, back into the top 30, right to the back of the 43, actually, of John Andretti. Actually, a little bit of a shot to his back bumper, but we're going to rip around the top, and Jeff Gordon still leading this race. And now, all of a sudden, sure enough, I mean, I wasn't taking it too seriously, but now I am. I think that 24 has got this thing pretty well under control. So the big question now is, you look at the luck that Jeff Gordon has had throughout this season, it's like, okay, what's going to happen to take him out of the running for winning this race? That's the real question at this point now, just with the way his luck has been, as we're going to make a pass on this one of Steve Park, and we continue now closer to the top 25, and suddenly we're pretty well running the best we have run all race long. Now, we do have a slight tire advantage that I'm sure is helping us, but that was the whole point of making that pit stop. Was getting, off sequence, get a little bit of an advantage. And as well, we're going to pass the 38 of Elliott Sadler around the outside here. Lap 111 coming to lap 112, and into the top 25 we go. And it's not long after that we have run down the 2 of Rusty Wallace in this Miller Lite Dodge here for Penske. So things are looking really good, but green flag pit stops are actually about to kick off here, and this is going to be right on the fuel window. I'm going to be interested to see this thing play out, as we are right there on the back of the 2, and sure enough, lap 117 coming to 118. Jeff Gordon still leads, but we got several drivers coming into the pits right here, as you can see in the pit lane. So as we continue on, right on the back of this 2, actually kind of hit a bit of a wall when I got to the 2 of Rusty Wallace and couldn't quite pass him. So I'm waiting until I am for sure in the fuel window, which will be when I hit lap 119. So nobody outside of me has gone to lap 119, at least running this high up the order. There's a few cars like Dave Blaney that have come around, but I would stretch us even further to lap 120. So we're going to pit at the end of this lap, and we are now in the fuel window. I do wonder if some of these guys are going to try and stretch things to the end of this race that just came into the pits. It's going to be interesting to see if they try it or not. But I get to the inside, and now we get ready to come into the pits now. It's a 45-mile-per-hour pit lane, and we are just barely going to get slowed up in time. It's going to be 4 tires, no adjustments again. Fuel this car up, put the 4 tires on, get me back out on the racetrack, and go hard till the end and try to just, get a great finish here, hopefully. You never know how this is going to play out. So as we return to the racing surface, Dave Blaney's still on track, so he's still going to have to come into the pits. Caution is out. Oh boy, we're trapped a lap down. We can, however, everybody on the lead lap is pitting, because Jeff Gordon and all those other guys are not confident they can make it to the end, so they're going to pit. And the reason for caution, smoke coming from somewhere in this group right here. We stay out because we just pitted. We can take the wave around, and that's going to leapfrog every lap down car and put us inside the top 15. So by going just a little bit longer, it helped us significantly, as Matt Kenseth and Jeff Gordon now will lead the field back to green. Dave Blaney also a big winner out of this. He was leading at the time of the caution. So as we return to racing, it's going to be 16 laps to go in this Coca-Cola 600, and all of a sudden we have done the strategy that puts us into the top 15, and as of right now, 15th is the worst we can run because of the fact there's only 15 cars on the lead lap. So that worked out pretty well, to say the bare least. So I'm pretty happy with that. Matt Kenseth, how about Matt Kenseth? Yet to win this season, right up there in the middle of the championship battle. Is this a caution that's going to really benefit him, as he's got the lead of this Coke 600 at 15 laps to go here from Charlotte? I have a lot of cars to pass if I want to even start making passes for 14th and for 13th. So Dave Blaney, I think, is the only one realistically I'm probably going to be able to pass for position now, but Matt Kenseth, unfortunately for him, doesn't quite seem to have the speed to hang on. Jeff Gordon as well, not out in front. It's the 18 of Bobby Labonte who has gotten himself out front at this point. Now Labonte, big crash last episode in Richmond. It hasn't been a great season for that 18 team at Joe Gibbs Racing now, as we continue to just kind of, not really go anywhere, but I mean, at the same time, we don't really have an opportunity to gain any track position without another caution. Now as the 29 of Kevin Harvick has gone to the lead as we approach 10 laps to go. We got more problems. Someone's got an engine issue here. I'm going to get down to the apron and avoid this. Hold on. I can't even tell where it is. Smoke right in the middle of that pack on the outside lane, and we're just going to stay onto the apron. It's the 18. It's the 18 of Labonte. That's why he lost the lead, I think. Labonte's lost an engine down the back straightaway into turn 3, and that's going to be race over. Can you believe it? Talk about bad luck. Another guy that's had some rough luck this season when he's running well is that 18 of Bobby Labonte. We stay green with 11 laps to go as Kevin Harvick continues to lead. I can confirm at this point Jeff Gordon is up into P2, chasing down the 29 with 10 laps to go in a crown jewel event into turn 1. We are now still running 14th place. We could go get Blaney for 13th, and I think that's pretty well at that point as far as we would be able to go. We do clear Nadu there on the exit of turn 4, and we're just kind of in this clumped up pack here in these closing 8 laps. And actually Labonte's race is not over. He's come back out on the racetrack. He's passing me. He's blowing my doors off here. He's running in 36th position right now, so he's trying to just finish this one out. Honestly, if I could get back out to finish it, I would too. When there's only a few laps left into a long race like the Coke 600, I wouldn't want to go home any point early when I've gotten this far. So as we continue to run down Dave Blaney, that's going to be pretty well as far as we're going to be able to get. Actually, I did pass somebody else for position. I don't even know who, but we're up into 13th. Jeff Gordon now leads here with 6 laps to go. He's gotten the lead from Kevin Harvick coming up on the final 5 laps of this Coke 600 here now, but hold on, he's into the outside wall. Jeff Gordon blows a tire. Caution is out. Oh my goodness, the luck for Jeff Gordon. He has to pit. Now here's one positive. Well, first of all, we're going into overtime, and Kevin Harvick's going to lead, but Jeff Gordon is not done. He is in the race still, and he's still on the lead lap, so he's going to be 14th. Free pass to Bill Elliott. Obviously, Jeff Gordon 14th. Well, a win was a lot more points than 14th, so that's another tally in the bad luck column for the 24 car now. And all of a sudden, we go into NASCAR overtime again in the Charlotte Coca-Cola 600, and Kevin Harvick is leading with Matt Kenseth and Tony Stewart. By the way, 3 drivers that are trying to make some gains on Jimmy Johnson, and I completely botched my turn 1. And now as we head down this back straightaway, we're just going to try and keep that 24 at bay behind us. I kind of screwed over Jeff Gordon in the process. I feel bad for doing that as well. Into turn 3 we go, and Harvick leads now, and all of a sudden, here comes that 24 DuPont Monte Carlo around the outside. Jeff Gordon's going to be devastated. He was looking at another Coke 600 win, the same track he picked up his first career win back in 1994, but it's not going to work out here, unfortunately, in 2003, and it looks like it could be Kevin Harvick who's going to be the one that benefits the most. But Tony Stewart is hot on the tails of the Good Wrench 29 Chevrolet. Into turn 3, RCR versus Joe Gibbs. Stewart looks up the inside of Harvick. Hold on, we're about to have an all-time classic off of turn 4, and down this front straightaway. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Tony Stewart's first win, fresh off of his 2002 Winston Cup Championship in photo finish fashion. Can you believe it? Tony Stewart gets Kevin Harvick in the final turn. Unbelievable. Kenseth, Mayfield, Newman the top 5. Jimmy Johnson just outside of the top 5. Gordon only manages 14th, and just heartbreak there for the 24. And Jimmy Johnson gives up a bit of a points lead here this weekend. As Jack Sprague is at the bottom of the grid, we still will be awaiting an update on Jack Sprague going into next episode. But Tony Stewart actually takes the championship lead from Jimmy Johnson by 2 points. Matt Kenseth 13 back. Harvick still right there in the mix. Dale Jr. as well. Jeff Burton. Don't count any of those 6 drivers up there out of this championship battle. That does it for me. What a race. We'll find out if we got probation for that Tony Raines incident and as well on the Jack Sprague situation. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.